So we've basically come out this morning to play with some guns, check the zero. We've just put a silencer on Juhas sniper, so we're going to see what that's like, and check it zero as well because it's not been shot for a while. We've also got the Hare, which I shot the other day, and we're going to try and cook that up as well. Juhas just doing the distancing because we forgot the rangefinder.
Tira bak, tira down.
Yeah. So, me and Alex head up to the deer stand, which is just a high seat, so it's actually looking over a really nice area for shooting deer and stuff with some feeders around. However, we are using it just for target shooting today, as it gives you a good advantage and a nice safe backstop with the bullet trajectory. We load up that ammunition, we're just using factory round target ammunition, nothing special, we just want to see how the scope's going. So we load up, we get our eye in, we get the all clear from Juhas that he's safe and he's not in the line of fire, so it's time to let her rip and see what grouping we can get. Basically, we've just changed bullets now for the hunting bullets, which is what we take out for deer and stuff. Those are more target shooting. These are your soft points made to do max damage when shooting. And we're going to see if they group any better, because we've managed to get a zero with the last bullets. We decided to do a little bit more fine tuning to the scope with these hunting bullets, just for the distance and the distances we think we're going to be shooting. Then we load back up and it's my time to have a crack. So you can see this is the hunting bullets. The shot at the top here was the last one, so we've just brought it up because we want it shooting high, just so when we're shooting a long distance. This is just under 100 meters, so that means by 100 meters it should be bang on, and it's maybe off a little bit because of our trigger pulls, but we know that. Now this is where the fun begins, because we're going to get the pistols out, which you can shoot with here. And have a go at them. So I've never done it, and I can't wait to have a shot with one. We set the targets up at a different location, just again with a safe backstop, and obviously nowhere near as far. With a very nervous but excited looking Alex, we get the first pistol out, which is a 2.2 rimfire with a nice little silence on it. It's nothing major, but I think it's a good warm up for what's about to come.
One shot each, because otherwise we make too much noise here. And Josh, you go first.
And this is where the fun begins. We're using Juhas 44 Magnum revolver, which is pretty cool because I've never really held one before, let alone fire one. And I could tell by Alex's face that he was pretty nervous too, as well as very excited. So It was loaded up and we had a quick brief as we don't want the firing arm to go through our hand once we've shot it, because it's old school Western style. I felt that one.
Oh yeah!
I felt that one. Look at the size difference.
High five.
High five. So we're just gonna get a fire going and skin the hare we shot the other day. I'm not sure if we got time to cook it up because we are gonna go hunting somewhere else after this. Alex is a professional at skinning. He's been skinning for years now, so it's only polite that we let him do it. Alex starts by cutting the skin where it's been gutted and sliding his knife all the way up to the back legs where the feet will be jointed, and that's where the skin can be pulled back from. Although I can't help but get my hands dirty as well, so I'm in there and I'm giving a hand, and I do the next stage of getting it round the back end of the hare and bringing the skin down, where we find some pellets of where I shot it. Once you've pretty much got all the skin from the back end, you can nearly just stand on this and pull gently up with the back legs, and it should all come away from the meat pretty nicely. However, sometimes it doesn't, so you need a helping hand with a knife, or if you wanted to keep the skin, take extra care because you don't want to slice it or tear it. So I've just been dropped off by one of Juhas' friends, Hare, and so we're on a bit of ground that Juha used to hunt, and apparently there's a lot of deer here. Tonight I'll be shooting whitetail bucks and calves, whitetail calves, but I've been said if I leave the calves I will most probably likely see some bucks or some nice bucks, so I'll be patient and I'll see what comes out because I'd love to shoot a nice decent buck. I'm in this hide here, and then there's a feeding station just down there, which is where they come into. So hopefully I can get the big camera set up as well, and I'll sit here as long as I can basically. And Hare will sit somewhere else and I'll notify him whatever I shoot. So let's get set up. Hopefully not too cold. It is a little bit warmer today, so fingers crossed. I'm using Hare's stalking rifle, which is a lovely bit of kit. It's a Tikka M6 and it's in a 30-06 caliber, so nice big caliber. It'll pack a punch, nice shotgun because I'm only shooting short range, and it's got a driven scope, so it's not got crosshairs, nice red dot in the middle. With the night drawing in and the temperature dropping pretty rapidly, I just managed to get some cool footage of this bird of prey. It looks to be a big eagle swooping from tree to tree, and then it wasn't long before it was completely dark and I couldn't see a thing. So I had one deer come in quite early on, but it didn't last very long. It came in, had a little bit sniff of the feeder, and it was straight out again. I did want to wait to see if any bucks came in, so that's why I left it a bit longer, but still probably wouldn't have managed to get a shot off anyway. I had another deer that came right behind the seat, which you can hear in the snow. And yes, the GoPro died. Eventually I had to call and I got picked up, which I was quite thankful of because I got straight into a nice warm car. We then went back to the base where I warmed the GoPro batteries up and just managed to get time to film some of the grollicking or gutting, which is, I enjoy this process because you learn so much about the animal, and I also like seeing it from a different point of view from someone that does it a lot and in a different location. And then, as per tradition, I got offered a quick drink before we headed away, and then another quick drink as I was a guest, but it did warm me up. After tagging the deer with the date and who it was shot by, Urine showed me about all the deer heads. It was moose, whitetail and roe. These have been taken throughout the years of the estate, and it shows the history of the animals, the good years that there was food, the bad years there was no food. You can really tell it in some of the size of these beasts. The moose, the whitetail especially, they are massive. It was an absolutely amazing evening, and I'm ready for what's to come. After getting back to the house, it was a quick sauna, a long sauna, a few beers, and it was time to cook. We're going to cook the hare that we shot the other day and skinned today, and also we're going to cook the heart from the deer urine shot, which was also just taken out maybe a few hours ago. Juhas starts by taking a lot of the damaged meat off and the offcuts, which you're going to use for stew, and then he digs in to get the tenderloins off, he takes the legs off, and then he's going to work his way up and eventually take the back straps off as well. Back straps off, we also take the membrane layer on the top side of it, as it's a bit chewy and it also tends to curl the meat up when you fry it. With all the meat off the hare now, the back straps, the tenderloins, we put it in a nice mixture of olive oil and some herbs, salt, pepper and a few other spices, and we're just going to massage it a little bit so all the flavours get right into the meat. Now time to tackle the heart, which was shot only a few hours ago by Urine, and it's from that young whitetail calf. You can see it is literally just another piece of meat, and Juhas is doing a good job. He's just cutting it up into nice sized pieces, ready to cook, not too big to eat either, and it's the same sort of size as the tenderloins and the back straps, so it all cooks in the same amount of time. And before we get the barbecue and smoker fired up, there's always time for a quick drink. So have a drink and then we get the barbie going. We're deciding to do it all on the barbecue so we get a nice smoky flavour with it as well. And it's just a nice outside taste. Although this is the first time I've ever barbecued in -15. It's moments like this that make these trips so special. Out in all conditions together, freezing rain, can't feel your fingers, can't feel your toes for hours on end, trudging through frozen snow, and then you come home and you've brought home the meat and you cook it together, you have a few drinks, you have a laugh, you tell some stories, and you've also just got all those stories for more times to come. Although it was Christmas and New Year's, so obviously there had to be a bit more drinking and dancing, which is why you may be seeing some tired eyes in some of these episodes. I want to thank Juhas and his family. He's been a friend for years, and this has been one of the best hunting trips we've ever had together, I think. It's been one of the most challenging with all the conditions, but we're there together and we had an absolute blast. Even if I did feel my fingers for half the time, it was great. Great food, he's a great chef, and I've learned a lot of stuff. I'd also like to say a big thank you to all the people that made it possible on the shooting estates, the hunting ground, the farmers, and everything like that. It's been the best trip I've had, especially over Christmas. I hope you liked it as much as I have been there and filming it. Give me a like and a subscribe or any comments below.
We drove for days. Teenagers with too many feelings and rage. We were higher than the ceiling, middle fingers to the sky. I remember thinking if I only could stop the time, way back when.